Many people seem to think that building a SaaS is just doing one maniacal weekend search and getting something out of the way as quickly as possible. While that is definitely a way to do it, it's not the only way by any means. I built and shipped 2 mobile apps while working a full-time internship and working 25 hours a week part-time. So how can you do the same? Now, I'm not recommending you follow the same schedule. However, there is definitely a lot you can learn in terms of improving your consistency, productivity, and time management from my experience. Working that much is not easy, and it's definitely something you will need to understand on your software as a service journey, because you will have to work early mornings and late nights quite a lot of the time. First things first, consistency. Unless you're shipping an app in one weekend, it doesn't matter how much effort you put in those 2 days. What matters is long-term consistency, and if you can stand on the trend for a while. As we all know, consistency beats intensity, and while 60 minutes a day is better than 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes definitely beats 0. My strategy for consistency is actually very simple. Make at least one commit to GitHub every single day. This does 2 things at the same time. First, it forces me to sit down, think about the app, and at least work for some amount of time a day. And usually, I end up making more than one commit. And second, even if that commit is just a simple README update, it forces me to think about the app and keep it on my mind for the entire week. Because let's be honest, if you only pick up your app once a week, you're probably gonna forget what you did before that pretty soon. These little things add up and compound over time. And even if it's just a small function update, that's something I won't have to do next time I sit down. Once you incorporate this into your daily routine, progress becomes seamless, and you'll have your app almost ready to go in no time. But how do you actually find the time to do this every single day? We're all very busy people, and it can be incredibly difficult to carve out even 30 minutes of your time every day. You've probably heard this one a million times before, and that's because it's so good. The answer, which will work for 90% of people, is wake up earlier. People talk about the 5 to 9 all the time, meaning that if you wake up at 5 to 6 a.m., you would have carved out 2 to 3 hours of uninterrupted work before your actual workday even starts. Because the majority of people are still asleep at that time, you won't get any distractions at all, unless you decide to distract yourself, of course. So no social media in the morning, just work. However, I definitely understand that this strategy isn't feasible for everyone, because I myself work on my part-time job in the morning. In that case, time management becomes a little bit more difficult, but still definitely possible. Because I work in the morning for my part-time job and during the day for my full-time internship, I have to find time somewhere else in order to work on my project. And for me, that is lunch break, commutes, and after work. Your lunch break is that 45-minute window of time where you can easily get an extra 20 minutes of work in. Will it sacrifice your rest time? For sure, but that's a sacrifice you have to make if you want to build a successful software as a service business. Apart from that, you can work on trains, buses, which I do as well, with some noise cancelling headphones. Weekends are incredible for work, but you don't have to do it for the entire day. If you simply wake up 2 hours earlier, you can get those 2 hours of focus time in and not worry about it for the rest of the day. Most important thing for this, however, is do not burn out. Burnouts are very tricky because they manifest themselves differently in all different types of people. So if something's a sign for me, it doesn't mean it will be a sign for you. The unfortunate thing about this is you won't know what's a burnout sign for you unless you've burned out a couple of times and started to see some patterns. For me personally, it's not keeping my room tidy, leaving dishes in the sink, or eating a lot of sugar. If I start doing one of those 3 things, I notice that it's definitely time to lay off some work and maybe get some time to rest. Even during my rest days, I still try to get at least 10 minutes of work, but avoid working on any major features. That will keep my mind sharp and ready to go for the next time I work on the actual app. If you avoid burnout and, most importantly, track your progress, maintaining momentum becomes very easy. I say progress tracking because it's very important for the monkey brain to see what you're up to and get some sort of a reward for your efforts. If you're building a mobile app, the entire development or even a small update can take ages to release, and the gratification takes a while to reach your brain. In that case, try to focus on the little wins along the way, like ticking off your habit tracker or the GitHub action tracker turning green. And last but not least, keep an end goal in sight. Define your output and focus just on that, because it's so incredibly easy to stuck in the feature developing process and not actually release anything. If you enjoy working Pomodoro style with short intervals, check out my app Study Smart. I made a video on how I built that app in a weekend, and it's just a simple timer which will help you to keep track of your Pomodoro style work and take breaks in between deep work sets. It costs 49 cents on the App Store and will support me a lot to get videos and apps to you faster. Last but not least, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.